Hello and welcome back to the Online Zone right here on Card Player TV. Our 2-month hiatus at the World Series of Poker is over, and we are all set to bring you your online poker news on a weekly basis. Until, of course, we get busy with other things again. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The Full Tilt Online Poker Series kicks off today, Wednesday, August 4th, with a $750,000 guaranteed no-limit hold'em tournament. The tournament will feature a buy-in of $216 and will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This edition of the FTOPS will see 34 events guaranteeing more than $19 million in prize money, including a $3 million guaranteed main event with a $640 buy-in. Winners and final table lists during the series will receive bonus awards ranging from gold jersey avatars to custom jackets, and players even have a shot at winning future FTOPS buy-ins. If you don't have a Full Tilt account and you are looking to play, head on over to the cardplayer.com homepage and sign up today. Card Player readers are eligible for a deposit bonus of up to $600. Moving into online cash games, most of the action has been taking place in the Pot Limit Omaha cap games on Full Tilt. This past week, Phil Ivey even jumped in and managed to win nearly $700,000 from Lukey21. The win was impressive enough, but what made it so interesting was that Ivey did it in just 650 hands while playing with a $40,000 cap. Other notables who have been playing in the game include Phil Galfond, Patrick Antonius, and Tom Dwan. Speaking of Antonius and Dwan, the two resumed their Dirk Challenge this weekend, and although Antonius got away with a $244,000 win on Saturday, Dwan came back strong to win $460,000 on Sunday. With just 10,000 hands to go in the challenge, Dwan now holds an astounding $2 million lead. Should that lead hold, Antonius will be forced to fork over an additional $500,000 once the competition ends. Moving back into online tournaments, let's take a look at the Online Player of the Year leaderboard. KC Big Dog Pocket 5's Jarzabek continues to lead reigning OPOY winner Steve G. Boro 780 Gross in the standings, but a number of newcomers, including Adam Squee 451 Sherman, Mickey Mehmet Mori Peterson, and Ross Zestfully Clean Myers, have jumped into the top 10. This week's guest is 23-year-old Matt MCMATTO Affleck. Matt is a former FTOPS and Scoop champion who currently sits in 63rd place in the OPOI race. But honestly, we don't care about all of that. What we really wanted to talk to Matt about was his WSOP Main Event run, where he earned just over $500,000 for a 15th place finish. For the second year in a row, Matt navigated his way through the massive field and into the top 100. After surpassing his 2009 best of 81st place, Matt found himself among the chip leaders with just 15 players remaining. Then, disaster struck. Matt was just one card away from the chip lead and a guaranteed spot at the final table when his whole world came crashing down. Luckily for us, the cameras were there to document every second of it, so we'll be able to catch it on ESPN. In this recent interview, Matt was kind enough to relive the soul-crushing beat he suffered at the hands of current main event chip leader Jonathan Duhamel. Take a look. Matt Affleck, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you feeling? I mean, the whole world thinks you're standing outside on the ledge somewhere.
I'm doing fine, actually. Been back in Seattle for about a week and took a week off. And actually, today is my first day. I plan on playing a full schedule today online. So
getting back to the grind.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get to play. So
now, for those that don't know, you are a Scoop champion. Your largest score in your career, $550,000. But everyone really wants to talk about the World Series of Poker. 2 years, deep runs. What was it about this tournament that complemented your game?
I think, just the last 2 years, last year when I got 80th, the stacks were so deep, and I had the chip lead. And the big thing I changed from last year to this year was last year I had the chip lead, and I was trying to win every single pot and bully the whole table. And that's where I ended up getting myself into trouble, and I was playing a very high variance style. But this year, when I got a lot of chips on day 4 and 5, basically my game plan was to play the lowest variance style I could. And I kind of set up a really good table where I was playing a ton of small pots, and I was probably playing close to like 35% of the hands at the table, and everyone thought I was kind of a lunatic, but I really wasn't putting a lot of money in the pot at all without like a decent hand. I shut down a lot on the turn in the river, and I was just seeing a ton of flops, and since I was seeing so many hands, no one ever figured I had anything, and I got paid off a lot when flops and hands with some, marginal, like, jack 8 suited type hands, stuff like that. I was flatting a ton in position with hands like that.
Now, it seems like that's a pretty common problem you mentioned earlier, where online players make the transition to live tournaments and they feel the need to win every pot just because they can. Is it more a matter of just knowing when to slow down?
Yeah, that was a huge thing this year. Kind of my strategy at the beginning of every day was, I remember one hand at the beginning of day 4, when we went to the money, I was like the first or second biggest stack of the table, and I kind of tested out the table in the first orbit where I 4-bet someone and then C-bet the flop and folded, and I was able to just set the tone for the table the whole time. And that table kind of, if the table would let me run it over, I kind of would raise a ton of hands and barrel a lot, but if the table was going to fight back at me, I had no problem sitting back and waiting for hands, and that's what I ended up doing a lot of the time.
Now, I would be, roasted if I didn't bring up the hand. I hope you're sitting down so we can talk about this and relive this. Now, before we get started, what was your history with Jonathan? What did you think of him as a player? And, are you looking for his address online to pay him a visit anytime soon?
Actually, I didn't know too much about Jonathan. I don't think we had played before the redraw to 18. I could be wrong, but I don't remember playing with him before the redraw. I had heard that he was a 10-20 no-limit regular online, a cash game on Euro sites. So I figured he was going to be playing pretty aggressive. I mean, those games play really aggressive online. And we had played 4 or 5 pots together since the redraw before the hand, and I just flatted in position like 3 or 4 times that direct position on him, and he was playing very passive post-flop against me. He check-folded twice, I think, and another time, 1 or 2 other times we checked it down to the river. So he was playing pretty passive against me, and that hand came up, and he raised the cutoff to 575 at 100, 200K. And I have aces on the button. I'm like, oh, God, this is a dream situation. I 3-bet to 1.575, and I fully expected him to 4-bet a ton, almost in his entire range. I thought he would 4-bet. And he did 4-bet to $4 million, and right away my initial thought process was that, he almost always got air here. So I thought he would fold everything but kings or aces to my 5-bet if I did 5-bet. So it basically, I knew I was going to flat. And I did flat, and I figured, the stacks would be perfect where he could check raise a lot of flops, or if he did C-bet, I could just, stacks would be good to just move all in over his C-bet on the flop, and I'd take it down a lot more and probably get an extra bet out of him. So. But
then the flop comes 10-9-7 rainbow, and he doesn't actually C-bet.
Yeah, which is, I wasn't that surprised that he didn't C-bet, and before I bet $5 million, I was 90% sure he was going to check fold, and either check fold or check raise all in, and I would have snap called the check raise all in, even though he fully could have a 10-9 type of hand or something. But when he check called, I was really, really confused and wasn't really sure what he was check calling with after 4-betting. So it's like one of the ugliest flops I can have too after flatting a 4-bet. So
exactly, since 10s are in his range there as well.
Yeah.
The queen hits the turn. He checks again to you, and you just put it in for $11.5 million. And then he goes into the tank for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, I thought a little bit before jamming. I fully, once he check called, I kind of thought for a while, his range is, jacks, queens, and kings a lot of the time. And maybe some other hands that hit the flop somewhat but didn't want to fold to 1-bet. And I jammed and fully knew I could get, snap called by, 10-9 or queens. But I ruled out a set of 10s, 9s, and 7s on the flop because I figured he would have just check-raised them all in if he was going to check, or he would continuation bet him because there's a lot of bad cards for him. So I didn't think he had a set of 10s, 9s, or 7s. And then, I shipped all in. I'm just please don't snap call, because I have to protect my hand there. And he didn't snap call, and I'm like, good. And then after about 2 minutes, I'm like, maybe I want to call now. And I really thought he had kings when he tanked that long on the turn. And after about 5 minutes, he called, and I turned and I said, you have kings, right? He said, no. And I flipped over aces, and he said, you're way good. And it was about, a minute to 2 minutes before the river card came out. So it was pretty stressful for those minute and a half till the river came out.
Oh, man, that is entirely brutal that they made you sit and wait for the river. Now,
yeah, all the cameras set up and everything.
For those that don't know, the 8 came. Duhamel got it straight, and now he is the chip leader of the November 9. Matt, you were busted in 15th. It was pretty brutal. I read that ESPN followed you onto the hallway.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy that they did that. I mean, I was obviously pretty pissed off. The hand was probably worth close to like $3 to $4 million in equity. So I was obviously not in a good mood, and they followed me out and stuff. And one of the websites followed me for like the next 20 minutes, apparently. I didn't even know, and like blogged everything I did for the next 20 minutes. And so that was kind of weird. But I mean, after about 5 minutes or so, I went back in and shook everyone's hand, and I went back up to my room for about an hour and stuff, and then I came back down. I was fine. I had a few drinks, and it was all good. I got a lot of media attention. My name's kind of out there now in the poker world, so I'm really happy about that. And kind of motivates me more now that just to work harder for the fall schedule now.
Well, I applaud you for really handling this like a real champion. I mean, it speaks a lot about your character to be able to bounce back from this so fast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just ready to grind. And part of the thing is, like, I actually thought about this a little bit before the hand. Like, once we got down to about 18, I ran through my hand a little bit. Like, if I win the main event, $10 million is sick. And I would have. But what else would there kind of been to like accomplish? And I know Peter Eastgate just announced that he's quitting poker, and if I win $10 million, this might come out bad, but it's just how motivated will I be then to grind? Like I play a lot, so if I go to tournaments, I'll play like $500 side events, $1,000 side events, and would I still be motivated to play those when it's $20,000 to first place or something? And I want to still be motivated to play those. So maybe it's for everything happens for a reason. So maybe it's for the best. But I'm really motivated right now. Like I said, today's my first day back to full schedule playing, and I'll be out in Legends of Poker in August. So.
Well, I can only wish you the best online, the rest of the year on tour, and even next year in the main event again. I'd like to thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Ready, hopefully, third time's a charm in the main event. So I played the main event twice and got 80th and 15th. So
you can only go up, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, that will wrap things up for us here at the Online Zone. As always, be sure to send in your hate mail to onlinezone@cardplayer.com. See you next week.